bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
You got the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. Hopefully your Wednesday is going well. Your hump day going great. Mike. Clint Scott with Chris Snead and Jackson Frazier. We'll have Action Jackson's Play of the Day coming up momentarily. Keeping us up on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Get your questions in for Grill Snead. That coming up in about 15, 20 minutes. We get this on the chat line. This has been nightmare fuel for me, Snead. Bullfighter with his famous faces on other faces, which have mostly been hysterical until you see your own face, especially my face on Taylor Swift.
Oh.
He says, I agree. I think you have the best hair cleaned. That is just haunting. Does your employer approve you facing this new cubicle, Snead? Does your employer approve of you, I guess, taking this new cubicle?
I'm not taking anything. I'm just acquiring it. Taking means that I have actually stolen it. I'm actually just sort of acquiring it. I'm just moving in slowly but surely, you know. And actually, I mean, it is. I've removed the radio, so now it's a clean slate right now. Yeah. So tomorrow I'm going to start bringing stuff, one thing at a time.
It's not taking, because if it was taking one, it would have to just be ready. And hey, anybody want this? Yeah, I'll take it. It wasn't even ready. Like,
no. I've literally just started
to make this ready.
It had stuff all over it, and I've just been slowly but surely cleaning it up and cleaning it out and putting stuff away and moving it over here, moving over there. And so now the last thing was the radio. There was a radio on the cubicle. And so now I have taken the cubicle radio away, put it on the next cubicle. And so tomorrow I'm going to bring something.
And again,
wait a second. I'm not on tomorrow. I have a board meeting tomorrow. I'll be here Friday. Friday. So Friday I will bring something in here, and I'll start, and then we'll just start bringing something every day.
And again, go up to anybody that goes in the bullpen back there.
Yeah.
Past just us on air, like anybody in the building, and go, hey, can you grab me that second radio? They'd go, there's a second. What? There's a second radio back there?
Because right now it's like Choice and Clint and Jeff all have a cubicle back there, and then there's another cubicle which I guess is like the intern cubicle.
Yeah, that's the dungeon corner.
The dungeon corner.
We haven't sent anybody there yet.
No. There's one that has a computer on it.
Oh, that's Jackson's unofficial space. Yeah, I thought you meant the other corner.
Yeah. No, the other corner is the dungeon.
You've got to cut through the forest with
I'm on the other side of the wall.
To get through. Yeah.
And I'm just gonna acquire that cubicle there. It's like I'll sit there. I'm Snead's place.
We get this on the chat line. Wide out at Penn State is strong. So is the game at 2 or 3? I keep getting different start times from other people. Kickoff is at 2.
2 p.m. Raider Red statue unveiling, 9 a.m.
There you go.
Yeah.
We'll also have Optimum Game Day Live starting at 7 o'clock. We'll be out there outside of the Frazier Alumni Pavilion all day, going all the way up through the game. And then after the game, still on Double T 97.3, we'll carry you to the Double T 97.3 Coors Light post-game show. Hopefully a very homecoming happy version of Garrett Luft. I didn't realize, I know we've had some road games and the bye weekend there, but 28 days since you've been back in the Jones, and it felt like we're just kind of camped out there for a few weeks.
Yeah,
that's what the bye week does to you.
It was really kind of a weird schedule. It was kind of very early loaded, and then mid-season not much, and then at the end it's 3 or 4 games at home. So,
Snead, are you prepared for the masses called homecoming this weekend? Too many dang people, LOL.
Yeah, I mean we have board meeting going on, so I have committee meetings all day, and then we have a board meeting Friday morning. Bonfire, parade. Got to mix in a football game in there.
A lot of stuff. A lot of happenings.
A statue unveiling. 1923 Society breakfast.
9 a.m.
Yeah.
Got to go to Tennessee, Florida a few weeks ago. Awesome. Wore my Tech celebration or Tech Celebrate Cotton shirt and got cussed at.
For the Texas Tech or the Celebrate Cotton?
I'm sure it was just not being a part of Tennessee or Florida.
That is probably
That's
why would
awesome,
you.
though.
I mean, that's one of those things where it's kind of one of the, you don't really roll into SEC territory, because it's like you roll in there in some Big 12 stuff, and they're like, they hate each other, but they hate you more.
Is it going to rain? Want to see the skies open up and dump?
No, I don't think so today. I think rain's out of the forecast the rest of the week. In fact, high of 85 on Saturday, and according to the game ops meeting on yesterday, they'll still have the heat management stations all four corners, so providing water and sunscreen.
Well, speaking of the heat management stuff, when they made this building, they did a terrific job for everything except for one thing.
What is that?
And that is that producer's room. And Jackson's having to deal with it. And I knew it was going to happen as the weather cooled down. Like, I have done a couple different jobs where the service was, you went into people's houses for different things. And I always knew when it got colder, everyone's like, oh, man, it must be terrible working in the summer if you're doing stuff outside. And like, yeah, it's not great. But I honestly hate winter more because you get these people that just blare up the heater. And you just walk in and it's like, as soon as you get in their house, like, I need water. That is the producer's room.
It's a little thick in here. There's a little thick right now.
Oh, okay.
It's like breathing pudding in there.
Really?
It is awful.
Air you can chew. I like that.
How hot is the producer's room? Air you can chew.
Okay.
It's like putting Laffy Taffy through a snorkel in there. We get this on the chat line, Snead. It's not that good of a league, and you guys know it. The top teams couldn't beat the three best teams in the SEC.
Well, duh. I mean, what do you think that we were sitting around claiming that this is going to be, we're going to have 3 of the 4 teams in the playoffs? No. I think we pointed out the fact that this team is a steaming pile of average. This whole league is. The top team right now, their best win is over a team that had to hang on to beat us. And that was trailing by 8 at one point to us. Their second signature win is over the team that was picked to finish dead last by pretty much everybody.
And the problem I have with that too is, okay, we'll go through the other leagues and say, hey, who's beating the top 3 of the SEC? I think Ohio State stands a chance. Clemson stands a chance-ish. Ish. But you go through the rest of the conference, and they're not either for the ACC. The rest of the conference of the Big Ten, I certainly don't believe in Michigan that much as far as if you're stacking up against the SEC.
I'm not even sure
that's
I
the
believe
issue.
in Ohio State.
You can be a competitive and cannibalistic conference and still be a good conference, and then look over to the SEC and going, okay, well, that's a great conference.
There's I would tell you this right now, and I want to. There's 4 teams playing a level of college football higher than everybody else in the world right now, in America in Division I. Leave it at that.
And I mean, again, if it's good, the wording is good. Yeah, the Big 12 is a good conference. It's just that's been the problem. Is you don't have a
good conference.
You don't think it's a good conference?
I think it's a league of teams that are pretty good. I don't even know if the best team in this league, whoever wins this league, does not deserve a spot in the playoff. Promise you that right now.
I think that's fair, but if you look at all the other conferences, the big ones across the country, and you go top to bottom and do an average level of play, I think the Big 12 stands up certainly more than the Pac-12, and I definitely think more than the ACC. And the Big 10 is interesting because the higher end, and by the higher end I mean Ohio State, is significantly better, but the bottom end of the Big 10 is atrocious.
Yes, exactly. Here's the funny part about this. Remember when we were, in the middle of August, what were we saying about this league? It's going to be Oklahoma, and then 2 and 2. It's Oklahoma at the top, Kansas at the bottom, and 2 through 9 is going to be a big old coin flip. Well, then we didn't realize, and no one foresaw the fact that Oklahoma was going to take one hand, put it around their neck, and take the other hand, put it right next to it, and try to play football that way all year.
All right, so let's get into Action Jackson's play of the day.
Throws,
Yeah. Now we've got, on a 4th down and 3, you got Griff Whalen ready to take the snap. He'll snap it. Actually, Colt Anderson is behind him. And what in the world? Flag is down. You tell me.
I thought maybe they were going to try and get him to jump off sides.
Illegal formation. The whole right side of the line was not on the line of scrimmage. Offense. This penalty is declined. The result of the play is first down for New England.
There is absolutely no way possible that they should have snapped that ball and tried to sneak it. There were 3, 4, 5 guys around 2 players. We've seen a lot of bizarre stuff. I've never seen anything more bizarre than that.
I guess, Jackson, we missed the anniversary of that yesterday, huh? The worst fake punt of all time from the Colts. Yeah. How many times you get as the play is going, what the heck? Before it's even snapped. Back with more next on 100.7 The Score.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It is a Wednesday edition of The Bottom Line, right here on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. Clint Scott with Jamie Lent and Jackson Frazier. Keep hitting us up on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. We are currently watching the Guadalajara Open. Correct?
That's a fun word to say.
Guadalajara?
Guadalajara.
That is the name of a dish.
I was talking about open.
Oh, Guadalajara Open.
No, open.
Oh,
That's
the
a fun
word
word
open. Oh, open. Open. Have you ever thought about, have you ever done this with a word where you just have said it over and over in your brain, just like back to back to back until it sounds weird? Like, how did we come up with that pronunciation? Yeah, Jackson, I'm not crazy, right? You're shaking your
Which
head,
word?
yes.
Like, give me an example.
Bubbles is the first one that comes up to my head.
Bubbles.
You just say it over and over again. You're like, is this even a word anymore? This doesn't sound like anything.
Yeah. I did that the other day with spoon.
Yeah.
Because I messed up the word spoon, and my wife was making fun of me because I said spoon with a B.
I said a word this morning to Chuck, and it was off the air, and I said it and kind of went on and was like, that didn't sound right. That didn't sound right. That didn't sound right. Chuck's so polite. He didn't tell me it was wrong, but then he used the word in a sentence back to me and said it right. The word was that I used incarcerated. That didn't sound right. What did I mean there? And then he used the word back. That's how you politely tell someone they're wrong, right? You just use it, and he said incarcerated. But
so did he do it very obvious? So he was incarcerated.
He didn't. He was
Let me slow it down for you.
He was super polite about it, which was so much more mature than I would have handled it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But incarcerated, and I'm like, that didn't sound right. That didn't sound right.
Incarcerated. Is there a word it's wrong, but you say it wrong every single time anyways, other than incarcerated?
That's the first time I've ever said incarcerated that I know of. That I say it wrong every single time.
Or you have to actively think about, okay, I know how my brain wants to pronounce it, and I know how it's pronounced, and you're fighting it to get it out. Because one for me, supposedly, I have to fight not saying supposedly. I know it's not supposedly.
Oh.
But for some reason, my brain wants to say supposedly.
Yeah, I don't know. There's words that I have sounded out in my head to spell it that I have to make sure I don't say it that way. And resume is one of them. That if I'm writing a resume, and it just comes to mind because I'm working on one right now. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
I'm always saying resume. And one time on the air, I said resume.
Yeah, send in your resume too. That's what makes sense. I was so confused when you said that to me. What does he want me to send in? Do I really want to work there? Gosh, sending in resumes. We were just talking about Big 12 football and just how mixed up, weird, wild, and woolly it's been, Jamie. And I don't know if you remember, because it feels like, it's been so long ago. Of course, we do blind projections every Friday. We took the bye week off this week, as Tech had the bye week. But we also did our first edition of blind projections, and we actually went and we picked through every single team's record.
Right.
Of what it would be. Do you have any guess to how we are doing currently? About halfway.
Man, I bet we're not doing well with teams like TCU and Oklahoma. I mean, that was kind of what you had touched on Monday, and I used for the question of the day this morning about which teams did you feel like you really hit on with your projections, and which teams did you really miss with? And goodness gracious, Oklahoma and TCU are two swings and misses for me.
Yeah, so your grimace was correct to have with how we did so far.
Okay, good.
Because we're already way wrong on all of them.
Okay.
Some of them still have a chance.
The ones that we're way wrong on, I actually picked against you two, but you didn't. You guys outvoted me, so every one of them.
Well, I won't go deep down into detail because we did pick every single game, but starting off with the top, we had Oklahoma at 11-1.
Nailed it.
Yep, correct. Oklahoma State, we still have a chance for this one. We had them at 10-2.
Okay.
Baylor, we had at 9-3. So unless they have an unbelievable rest of the season, sitting at 3-3, probably wrong on the Bears. That was something I was talking about with Snead. It's kind of went under the radar how, I guess, the wrong direction the Baylor Bears are facing, because they've played the quote-unquote easier part of their schedule, or certainly will by the time they get rid of this Saturday's opponent with the Jayhawks. And then they face all of, to me, the better teams in the conference, because they still have not played TCU. They still have not played Texas. Haven't played, which is huge that it's at the Jones. Haven't played at Texas Tech. There's a real possibility that the team that was picked first in the conference misses a bowl game this year.
Possible, but also they have played Oklahoma State, and I still truly believe that Oklahoma State's the class of the conference. So they have played at least one of the tougher ones.
Now, when you say, like, for the Big 12 class of the conference, is that like the nicest trailer at the park, or like what's the class? Because they're certainly not the Alabama, Georgia mansions.
No, I just think they're on top of the conference.
They got a spare tire and everything. Woo-hoo! They got 12 toilets in their front yard. Toilets is another one. If you keep saying it, toilet just sounds weird to me.
That came real easy for him, Jackson. Did you notice that? Real easy.
They got 3 mowers out front, and one of them's a John Deere. It's just in my blood. But it's in your blood too, right? It's kind of reminiscent of your childhood.
To which part? To talk like that?
Well,
no,
just
I did live most of my childhood in a trailer park. Yes. Yeah. Yes, but I don't think at any point did I ever talk like that.
Well, in New York, you'd be weird.
New York trailer parks may be different lingo.
Hey, I'm burning trash here.
Yeah.
Like that.
No.
I'm chasing off a raccoon here.
Just a lot of guys with Pabst Blue Ribbon in their hand, smoking a cigarette out in front on the porch.
Accents change, but that stays the same, right?
Sure.
We all know Jim, Jack, and our favorite letters are PBR.
I think I just described my dad right there. I don't. There's no think about it. I absolutely nailed it.
Oh man, that's awesome. So we were so far probably wrong though with Baylor.
Yeah,
it's a
probably
good roundabout. UT we had combined 8-4. So we had picked. Probably feels about right for them.
I think they'll finish higher than 8-4. Why am I such a UT believer? After that performance last weekend, that was ugly.
Does that change if they lose to Oklahoma State this week? Because they just need one more. Just need one more, and they still have to play the Jayhawks, and we all know who owns them.
I don't think so.
Okay. It feels like we'll at least get close in that range with that one. Maybe not nail it. You're probably right. Kansas State we had at 8-4.
That wouldn't shock me if they ended up there. That means they'd go 3-3 the rest of the way. But I guess I'd probably predict they finish one spot higher than that.
And again, part of that for theirs is this week as they face TCU. A couple of really good matchups in the Big 12 as far as how the rest of the season will shape with who's in that game there in Dallas.
Okay, so those two teams are undefeated in conference play. Texas and Oklahoma State each have one loss. Which matchup do you think is the better football teams?
I hate that you asked me that question because Kansas State's undefeated in conference play. TCU is undefeated as a whole, and they just beat Oklahoma State. But I still think Oklahoma State and Texas are the better two football teams.
I do too. Those are the two teams that I think will play for the Big 12 championship. Oklahoma State just somehow found a way to lose on Saturday. And I'm not trying to take anything away from TCU. They were impressive. I mean, even if they had lost that game by 10 or 7 or whatever, I came away very impressed with them. I just think Oklahoma State was in control and then just somehow let it slip away. Give TCU credit for hanging around. But I think if they played 10 times, Oklahoma State's winning 8.
Yeah, I'm trying not to discredit TCU because I don't think they deserve to be at all.
Yeah,
but to your point, Oklahoma State they found a way to lose that game.
Yeah.
But on the other side of that coin, TCU kept up with it, kept going north, kept doing everything they needed to do to stay in that game and ultimately win it. And so you can't. I think if they weren't undefeated at this point, then maybe you go like, oh wow, Oklahoma State really shot themselves in the foot, which they did some things to do that, but still TCU did everything to win that game as well.
That's fair.
I promise I'm not trying to start a Horned Frogs hype train. I feel like I have the past couple of days. I just think I'm shocked. Again, TCU, we picked them at 3-9, by the way. Wrong. Take versus take when we come back.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
That music means it's time for the fastest growing game show in the world, Take versus Take. We play it right here on the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score every weekday at 1:30. And 1:30 it is. Clint Scott with Jamie Lent and Jackson Frazier. I have your questions today. Jamie and Jackson are your competitors. Gentlemen, are we ready to go head to head?
I am ready to rumble.
Yes.
Good. It seems like you guys are really jazzed. That's good. Jackson's still upset because I beat him in Take versus Take yesterday and apparently ended some sort of streak he had while I was gone.
Jeff just let you in to ruin that streak.
Whatever, says the loser.
It's too bad.
It's too bad. All right. Jackson, I will ask you first. It is getting to be Halloween time. By the way, I saw Christmas decorations out the other day and almost lost my mind out of anger. We haven't got to Thanksgiving yet. What are we doing?
You're one of those guys.
Yeah, Thanksgiving is the best holiday and it should be treated as such. It should be respected. Stand by it. What do you mean by one of those guys?
He gets mad when people put up their Christmas decorations too early.
Yes. I don't get mad.
Who cares?
It's just consumerism, man. It's this nation, man. I'm telling you what, we got a problem, man.
Heinz hates it too.
I just don't like when stores do. Like, we haven't even done Halloween yet. Like, let the corpse go cold first.
Well, you should boycott them then.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I went up to the manager and said, I'm not buying your Christmas decorations. I said, sir, will you please leave this store and put a shirt on? And I said, fine. I'm out of here. Me and my chicken nuggets are out of here. All right, Jackson, I'll ask you first. It is getting to be Halloween time. What movie, monster, or murderer, that sort of character, do you think that you would have the best chance against?
Oh, man. I think, is it I don't watch a lot of scary movies. I don't know, but Jason's from Halloween, right?
No, Michael Myers.
I think him because he just walks everywhere. You can just you can just kind of like brisk up a little bit and you'll outpace him.
So are you taking Michael Myers or Jason?
Michael Myers.
Michael Myers.
You just have to like kind of do a light jog and then you're far away from him and he just keeps walking at that slow pace.
Yeah, but Jamie Lee Curtis has been trying to do that for like 40 years and apparently she just can't keep him down. Whatever.
She doesn't have the speed then. It's because they always keep looking behind. They turn around and start walking backwards. Just turn around and sprint. Just run.
And they're flailing their arms and screaming. He's like, just use form and breathe. Come on. What are you doing?
Through the nose. Come on.
Jamie?
I'm going to go with Jason for a couple different reasons. Extremely slow. I feel like I could easily get around to the backside and hit him upside the head. His mask does not cover the back of his head. So I think a baseball bat to the back of his head would be pretty easy to get to because he's slow. Plus, if you just pretend you're his mother, he basically just stops. Okay, so he's pretty easy to take advantage of with a baseball bat.
That's a good point. I'm going to give Jamie the point there. Especially, could you imagine just being in that situation? Like, why aren't you wearing a full helmet? That'd really protect you a little bit better, Jason.
Yeah, I mean, just this is the front of his cheap little plastic mask.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to do much. So just sneak around to the backside. He's really slow. It'd be pretty easy.
Mm-hmm. What is his, like, the it's a stupid noise. All right, Jamie goes into round 2, up 1-0. All right, Jamie, I'll ask you first. What is a player from one of your own fandoms that was on an active roster, like on that team, while you hated him? A player that you hated, I guess, on one of your teams and while he was there. It couldn't have been like I hated him after he left or I hated him before he got there.
No. There's really three guys that come to mind here. I guess I'm going to go with A-Rod. I mean, he was just so incredibly hateable at that time when he was on the Yankees. I mean, just so incredibly cocky. Such a me guy. I think he's done a good job kind of after being humbled a little bit of changing to a certain degree. But at that point, I couldn't stand A-Rod playing for the Yankees.
Fun piece of trivia for our listening audience. Jamie actually wrote the line, should have shot A-Rod in the other guys.
Yeah, that was my line. Yeah. My other options would have been Terrell Owens playing for the Bills.
Ooh.
John Starks being a member of the Bulls at the end of his career was also pretty icky.
Jackson, where's your self-loathing?
Mine was, I did not like him before. He was on, like, as an Eagles fan, he's on the Cowboys. So it was frustrating because he was really good on the Cowboys. And then DeMarco Murray comes to the Eagles after rushing for like 1,800 yards and rushes for like 600 and is just god-awful. It took about like one game for me to be done with him. And he taught me the lesson of let's at least wait a year to see how this guy is before you buy their jersey. So I, deep in my closet, I have an Eagles DeMarco Murray jersey somewhere.
Do you have an A-Rod jersey or anything like that?
No. I have a Bills Drew Bledsoe, though.
Jamie, I thought you had that point wrapped up until Jackson said that he bought a jersey for it. That's a harsh lesson to learn. So we will be tied in the third and final round. The last question. Jackson, if you could hand pick a random rival for Texas Tech sports across the board, who would it be?
So across all, so like for even football, basketball.
Yeah, just for everything.
My mind jumps straight to Arizona for some reason. I don't know why. I think they're about balanced with where we are in our sports, at least football, basketball. I don't know how their baseball team is, but that I think it's also geographically kind of close and the fan bases are kind of similar, at least in demographics wise. So I think that'd be a fun rivalry to have.
Okay. I could buy a little bit of the Wildcat that you're selling over there. Jamie?
I'm gonna kind of go with one that we already have. I'm gonna TCU. Their fan base to me is everything that we hate in West Texas. I mean, just cocky and arrogant and all hat, no cattle, and just not passionate about their teams. They don't show up for their events. We get to infiltrate their stadiums and arenas every single year and make them look bad doing it. They hate us so much because they ain't us. I mean, all of that, because they know that we outclass them when it comes to the way our fans show up and support our teams. And they're just, I don't know, they're just so uppity. I can't stand them.
It's funny, like they're one of those programs, like when you're like, well, I could just really punch that person in the face.
Yeah.
TCU is that program. I could punch that program in the face.
Yeah. I'd like to punch that program in the face. Yes.
Yeah. That'd be fun. Let's do it. The bottom line is going to punch your program in the face, TCU, together. Both good answers. A great round of take versus take. Your winner today will be the returning Jamie Lent. Jackson goes on a 2-game slide.
It's a tough deal.
It's a good effort, though. That's like losing 2-1 in baseball. Or 2-0, I guess, if you're the Padres.
I should have gone with the chat line on the bad guy for Chucky. That would have been real easy.
Chucky. He's a little dude, yeah.
Chucky, the first one I always think of is that scary movie franchise, Leprechaun. I mean, how is that happening? Gremlins. Yeah, you guys went big guys, like big bodies that walk slow, but also have weapons. What was the, did you guys ever watch the Piranha movie that came out like 5 years ago? Like,
I watched like clips of it, but I never sat down for the whole thing.
Because that one you just had to stay out of the water.
Had Elizabeth Shue in it. Isn't that a Piranha movie? I think so. Yeah. Yeah, I saw that one.
Also, good job staying away from Sharknado, because that's no one surviving that, right? Or Sharknado 2.
Sharknado.
Or Sharknado 6.
One of the funniest movies ever. Man, that thing was hilarious.
That's a movie where I've seen, I think, 3 in the franchise and don't remember a thing about them except that I laughed the entire time.
Pretty much. Yes.
I remember Mark Cuban was in one of them.
Conan O'Brien was in one of them.
I think Chris Jericho was too.
Y2J. Let us know your answers to the take versus take questions on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. How you feel about the Big 12. Really curious to what rivalry you guys would pick for Texas Tech. And, you know, Jamie, to your point with TCU, as one of them leaves with Texas, saying adios here in a few years, I think mine personally would be Oklahoma State. I really, really want that to form into a true rivalry. Again, you just have, and it's almost the opposite of what you said. It's because you have so many similarities with them.
Yeah,
and it's like, who's doing what better?
Yeah,
right. I think that would be.
And I think they're similar fans.
Yes. Back with more next, right here on 100.7 The Score.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It's the Bottom Line right here on 100.7 The Score and 100.7thescore.com. Is a Viking Jamie Clean Shoes J6 Mafia edition. Also known as Jackson Frazier. Also Jackson and I known as the smartest kids in school, as I learned this morning. Did you know that, Jackson?
Who?
You and me.
Oh,
you
really?
And I.
Nice.
Yeah. That's what Chuck said this morning. I think he said it.
That's what Chuck said. Consider the source.
Jackson and I take any compliments we can get. Jamie. Even if it's used sarcastically. We'll take that and run with it for the rest of our lives.
What do you think the odds of a team winning a World Series with an Oswald and an Oswaldo on the team are?
I think it would be a lot better if they had a third one like Oswaldi to really just confirm that. So I'm going to say I actually like their chances less that there's just 2 that are close.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It's too bad.
Sorry.
It's too bad.
Sorry.
It's got to be the first time in Major League history, right?
There's been an Oswaldi.
Oswaldo. Yeah.
Where's Oswaldo? Oh, man, that's just a game in the making.
He started the series in left field, but he finished up at shortstop.
Yeah, see, exactly. When they make a promo, that's what it has to be. Where's Oswaldo? And he's in, I guess this would be the navy and gray stripes. And
he's also played second and right field at times this year too, so he can play everywhere.
Should I be writing for TBS?
You should be.
Oh, I'm going to fill out a resume.
A resume. What do you got? How many games would it take the Astros to win this thing?
I think it goes 6.
6?
I think it goes 6. What do you got?
I'll take Stros in 5, just to be different.
Okay. Now, was this I'm saying this because I don't really want to say the Yankees.
In 2.
They win 2 and they quit.
That's the true Yankee fan, right? That's the true Yankee fan. Forget about it. We'll beat these guys in 2.
We're going to make them quit. Dusty Baker's going to go, Stros no more. We're going home.
Yeah, right. That's the Yankee you want me to be, but unfortunately, that's just.
I so do. I would because you're very polite, very kind person, right? Again, I'm gonna sort of
said no one
on the outside to people's faces.
Okay, all right.
I wish you were the way that you were until you got to New York sports, and you just like a light switch turned on. All of a sudden, you're just like the biggest trash talker in the building.
Yeah.
Trash talker, Skywalker, Jamie Lent. The rat tail just starts to grow out. Like with
my 6 chains and
the wife beater on.
Yeah. All day.
What's the I'm forgetting the Play-Doh hair I'm talking about that used to, and you press it and it would grow out. That would be your rat tail to me.
Oh, that fast?
Yeah, just.
Okay.
I guess maybe make more of a worse noise, like that. Something greasier sounding. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not that way.
It's like your Superman costume. You run into a phone booth and so you come out dressed like that instead.
Come out looking like Joe Dirt.
Someday. Halloween costume this year?
Joe Dirt?
Yeah.
No, I'm going as Clint Scott.
Ooh. Going to scare a lot of people. Scariest one out there. You have a question of the day for us?
I do.
Jamie's question of the day on 100.7 The Score is presented by Bizarre Solutions. Call them today for a free cybersecurity audit.
All right, Professor Scott.
Dr. Professor, please.
Dr. Professor Jackson. I guess he would be Frazier if you're Scott.
That's how cool he is.
I showed him a lot more respect than I showed you.
He's got the accolades, but he still goes by his first name. He's like, please, Dr. Professor Frazier was my father. Call me Dr. Professor Jackson.
We are midterm report time. Halfway through the season. I want you to give a grade to Joey McGuire and the Red Raider coaching staff.
Ooh, as a whole or individually?
As a whole. Just one grade. I don't want you to list off every coach.
Starting off with Josh Bookbinder. CJIU, you're next.
I mean, the show's over at 3. So.
You got to do the whole class, though, right? If I'm doing the entire coaching staff, it's hard for me not to give out a flat A. I'll be honest. Because they've taken a very, very tough schedule. And maybe offensively, there's been some things you would like to see improved on, certainly. But I think the defense has been so much better than what I was expecting. And you've still come out of your tough 6-game stretch 3-3. And I think that there was, now it would have been awful, but we talked about this. There was a very real possibility that you come out of that 2-4, or even, boy, close your eyes, pulling your hair out, 1-5 situation. So the fact that they're 3-3, the fact that I think that they looked good now with 3 different quarterbacks too, by the way, as good as you felt about the quarterback room, still to me that you have looked for the most part as good as you have with 3 different quarterbacks, I think is a testament to the staff getting the roster ready, getting the guys ready. And I think that you have been playing uphill. And the other part of that too is as tough as that schedule that you had in front of you was, I think even some of those teams are better than what I thought they would be. Kansas State is better than I thought they would be.
Mm-hmm.
Texas is better than I thought they would be, and you beat them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard for me not to just give them an A. Are you happy with everything? No, but from my expectations, I think that they have been a step above that.
Okay.
I'm like teetering on the line of like B plus A minus, like 89.9 to a 90. I'm right there.
You're the guy that doesn't round up?
Now I'll give him the A minus.
That's Dr. Professor Jackson. He's the toughest Dr. Professor
in
class.
DPJ.
I just think this team has looked so different from last year and just how they compete and play.
Mm-hmm.
They just, since I've been in Lubbock and have watched Tech football, I've watched them give up games, and you just haven't seen that this year. They just haven't given up. They fight till the end, and that's a lot to do, in my opinion, with coaching. It's the same players around from the years that I've been here and watching, and I've liked the play calls, and I've liked the gutsiness of going for it on 4th down, how they do, and I think it's helped them overall in games throughout the season. And it's just a different tenacity that I see the team play with. When you watch going through 3 quarterbacks and still being 3-3 is incredible as it is.
Mm-hmm.
And even when even when you were down NC State, watching Donovan go out and block people like that's just a mentality that a coach brings to a team. And that's what I like to see. And I think that it's just going to keep going up.
Okay. I think I'm in agreement with everything that both of you guys have said. I think I'm going to call it a solid B. Okay. Fully well knowing that you've had the tougher assignments early on and feeling like you're going to end up in the A category.
Mm-hmm.
I like the mentality part of things that Jackson touched on, because I completely agree with what he was saying there. I like the fact that you've got a fan base that's excited, that this coaching staff has really got this fan base energized. I like the fact that, like Jackson mentioned, doesn't feel like you're out of games if you get behind a little bit early on. That's been impressive as well. And then what you talked about, Clint, the fact that, you went through that gauntlet and you handled it well. I just feel like right now you're at a solid B because you're at 3-3.
Mm-hmm.
But you've had the tougher assignments, and if I'm the teacher, professor, I'm thinking, that student handled that well. If they handle things as well in the second semester, they're going to end up overall with an A. So I don't mean to make it lower or be more negative than you guys.
Oh, here we go, Jerk Jamie, Mr. Negative.
I just think there's room to go up, and I'm thinking that's going to happen.
And in the more that I think about it, I would still stay with the A, but I could be talked to or listen to the argument as well, as I'm thrilled with the results, and that's mostly what I'm going off of what you went through. But at the same time, you could also say, yeah, the results are great, but don't you think you maybe left some stuff on the table? Do you feel that?
I mean, your last 2 losses, it felt. I mean, you were tied or ahead in the second half of those games. So yeah, but those were, again, both ranked teams on the road.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I think it's all two teams. I don't know if pegged in for sure that'll be your Big 12 championship, but certainly 2 teams who will be up for it within the last 2 weeks of the season. Hour number 3 next on 100.7 The Score.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's time to play a little No Diggity. Do it at 2:15 every weekday here on the Bottom Line. You've got us on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. Clint Scott with Jamie Lent and Jackson Frazier. I throw out a situation to them and also to you, our finer, F-Y-N-E-R listening audience. And with the device we know as the digitometer, they and you tell us just how much diggity a certain situation has. Hit us up on the 8th Flooring Center chat line. Also, the Benchmark hotline is open, 806-771-0973. Jackson, Jamie. I did it that time right to left. Just felt more natural with the way I was looking. I think at this point you both know that I'm a sucker for a good stupid criminal story.
Oh yeah, but they're fun.
They're just the best. It's just really what were you thinking type situations. Today, I take you all the way to Michigan. Beautiful state. I've never been to. I'd love to go fish the Great Lakes, though. That'd be fun.
Okay.
I think that'd be the top of my Michigan list. Mm-hmm. I'd like to go to the Big House.
Yeah, I would too.
That'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I saw the game, I'd want to watch it at Ohio State first, and then I'd probably want to watch it at Michigan, but I'd still want to go there. It's just a college environment I'd like to experience.
Okay.
So anyways, we're going to Michigan. All of us together on a road trip. A 30-year-old woman named Ashley Trout. Great name to start.
Fishing trip.
Yeah, I promise that had nothing to do with it. She went on a shopping spree. Shop till you drop with a stolen credit card.
It's a bad deal.
She was caught because at one of these stops, the Tractor Supply, she used her personal rewards card.
With the stolen credit card.
And it, perhaps she was, unknown if she was hoping to get a deal, get the reward points. Maybe it was just habit. But by connecting the transaction to her loyalty account, it made it easy for the cops to track her down. And it wasn't just one stolen card. Miss Trout, I guess Mrs. and her husband, Edward Trout, confessed to breaking into at least 15 storage units in the last 3 months. They'd then sell the stolen stuff online. The credit cards were from one of the units. They were charged with conducting a criminal enterprise. Ooh, that's a cool word. Bad thing, but cool word. Breaking and entering with intent, possession of a stolen credit card, and larceny of a firearm. The story does not tell if they were incarcerated or not. Oh, so here's your no diggity situation. I mean, like, if I'm going to buy something at Tractor Supply, I'm going to get the Tractor Supply rewards, right?
Right.
I want it to make it worth my while.
Right.
If you are using a stolen credit card, you probably shouldn't worry about saving money.
Oh, 100% no diggity.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Shocked.
Yeah. I wouldn't worry about it. If I was using your credit card, I would have no coupons, or discount codes or any of that.
Oh, that would be really something. Could you imagine, like, someone going up with a stolen credit card and they're like the type of person, which, speaking of things that do infuriate me, it's not if people use coupons, because I get it. It's when they're not ready and they're cutting them out at the aisle.
Where do they pull the scissors from?
Their coupon purse. They have separate purses. This is the going out purse. This is the coupon purse.
Coupon purse.
You're just like, come on. It doesn't have to be perfectly square. That one kills me. Jackson?
No diggity. Also, why are you going to Tractor Supply if you have a free credit card? Go somewhere a little bit.
Stuff you need, man.
Best Buy, somewhere else.
I wish it said what she had bought. Like, I just needed the chicken feed for this month.
No, she just bought all the chickens that were there.
Okay, so let's say you're in Lubbock, Texas, and you were someone that all of a sudden just stumbled across a $500 free gift card, okay, to anywhere, like a Visa card.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, where are you going with $500?
Best Buy.
Best Buy.
I will spend it all in about 15 minutes.
On video games, on TVs?
Probably a TV first, and then just miscellaneous stuff after that. Maybe Cabela's too.
That's probably mine.
Cabela's.
Mine, and it's probably on like 2 items. It's all the big ones. I'd say either Cabela's or, and again, I'm making fun of a criminal that was doing something stupidly, but then the thing like, well, I could get like 50 meals out of that sucker?
Yeah. I'm going straight to the Matador, man. I am hooking it up with the Red Raider gear.
Oh, yeah. Jamie's going online and getting himself some Air Force Ones. Big boy.
Oh, I can get this dumping. It's a great song.
It's
dude.
a great song. It's
I got
catchy.
it on a mix CD in my car right now.
You do not.
I do.
You do not.
I 100% do. Yes, I still use CDs.
That made my day. That made my day. Can we go out and listen to it after the show?
I might.
Would you
probably won't bring you with me.
Why? Would you let Jackson and I sit in your car for roughly 3.5 minutes?
Probably, but
Jackson, you down? This
Unlikely.
feels like this train's...
I would love to.
Jamie's just driving in at like 5:30 in the morning, pumping out some country grammar. for Chuck and Jeff. That's awesome. What else is on the mix CD?
What is on that one? I don't remember a bunch of that era hip hop.
That's fantastic. That's awesome.
I'll bring it in. I'll listen to it and then let you guys know what the songs are on there.
Send them, and then we'll just use a full day where that will just be our bumpers for every single intro.
It would be
and
the
outro.
highest rated show the Bottom Line has ever put out.
The Jamie mixtape show. When's the last time
People
you
would
actually...
ask us to just stop talking and play the songs.
You're talking over Nelly. Quit it. We would all wear Band-Aids over our cheek for no reason to that day.
We would.
Should do that anyways. Why don't we do
should.
that more? Why don't we bring back that fashion statement?
I didn't know it left.
I guess probably didn't. He was here in Lubbock recently. He was like doing his country stuff. This on the chat line. Jamie knows. He just doesn't want to say what the songs are. That's what I'm going with.
I'm trying to remember.
It's mostly Celine Dion after that.
No.
Rocking the penny whistle solo immediately after Air Force Ones.
I remember what's on there. I just know that there's one of those CDs has that song on it. I mean, there's probably 20 CDs in my car.
What was the most recent one that was burnt for that? Has it been a while and you just have them, or was this like last week? I got to give me some Air Force One in the car.
The last time I listened to that one?
No, like the last time you actually had a CD burnt for you.
Oh, that was probably 2006 or 8 or something like that.
Okay, so it wasn't like a month ago.
I used to burn them for myself back in the day.
You were I feel like everybody had that like one friend that like burnt them for everybody.
I would do it at the radio station there.
It was like a CD dealer.
Yeah.
Like when I was in high school, that was when like Drake was getting big.
Yeah, when it was really bad, is my wife knew I did that, and so she would take the cassette tapes that she used in her kindergarten class. Like, I need you to, or not, I need you. Would you take these and burn them onto CDs for me? So I'd have to go in there and listen to the ABC songs and
That seems
all the
like
kindergarten songs.
that seems like the chance for like the ultimate prank. Like she used that music for like nap time, and it's like
Well,
goes from ABC and all of a sudden, all
I
right,
put Enter Sandman in the middle of it.
everyone lay down. It's time to go to sleep. So hot in here, Jamie. Dang it!
I guess I'm different than you, Clint. I enjoy being married.
Oh, I do too. That's part of the enjoyment, though, right? Keeping it fresh.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is from Shelly. Hold up. You still utilize mixed CDs? Love that gold lint. What else is on there with Nelly Lint?
I mean, I don't think it's listed on there, so I can't just run out there and grab it real quick. I probably could throw it in and just skip from one to the next and figure out what's on there.
This has been the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score. Go to 100-7thescore.com for more from the Double T Sports Network.